Hello all, this is Vanshika back with my video again. We have already discussed about the physical geography of India where we discussed about the Himalayas. Today we are going to discuss about the Peninsular Plateau and the peaks related to them. Before beginning with Peninsular Plateau, let us discuss about the few more Himalayan mountains. I had already told you that there are the major Himalayan mountains called Shivaliks, Himadri and Himachal. But besides that, we also have few more on the basis of the river valley. For example, the Punjab Himalayas, they lie between Indus and Satluj. The Kumaon Himalayas, they lie between Satluj and Kali River. Nepal Himalayas, they lie between Kali and Teesta. Assam Himalayas, they lie between Teesta and Dihang. Brahmaputra, it is the easternmost boundary of Himalayas. Purvachal, it is beyond the Dihang Gorge. So beginning with Peninsular Plateau, I would like to tell you that these are the tablelands. These are the old crystalline igneous metamorphic rocks. They are made up of old crystalline and igneous metamorphic rocks, and they are formed by the breaking and drifting of the Gondwana land masses. Gondwana land masses are the most oldest land masses which are very essential in the formation of many physical geography across the world, especially in India. So Peninsular Plateau is majorly rich in black soil, and black soil is ideal for growing cotton plants. And the two broad divisions of the Peninsular Plateau is Deccan Plateau and the Central Highlands. Where Deccan Plateau is the southernmost part of India, like the Eastern Ghats and Western Ghats, they come under Deccan Plateau. And Central Highlands, these are the northern part of India, basically, the central part of India, which covers Gujarat, Rajasthan, then it also covers Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh also. But majorly it covers Madhya Pradesh. The most of the part of the central highlands are there in Madhya Pradesh because it is one of the part of central India, and Madhya Pradesh, it is also known as the heart of India, as you all know. Beginning with Central Highlands, these are basically the part of Peninsular Plateau. They lie to the north of river Narmada, covering with a major area of Malwa Plateau. They are formed by distinct ranges of Satpura and Vindhya Hills. The Vindhya range is bounded by the Central Highlands on the south, while the Aravalli is on the northwest. The Malwa, the Chota Nagpur Plateau, the Bundelkhand Plateau, they cover the major part of the Central Highlands. The Malwa Plateau, it is basically the western part of Madhya Pradesh and southeastern part of Rajasthan and Gujarat in the west. And few Madhya Pradesh districts called Devas, Dhar, Indore, Jhabua, Mandsaur, Nimuch, Rajgarh, Ratlam, Shajapur, Ujjain, and the parts of Guna and Sehor are the few places where these plateaus could be seen and discovered. Rajasthan district of Jhalawar and the parts of Banswara and Chittorgarh also come under Malwa Plateau region. The average elevation of this plateau is 450 to 500 meter, and black, brown and Bhatotri or stony soil is abundant here in Malwa Plateau. I have already told you that black soil is ideal for growing cotton. I am going to tell you further about brown and Bhatotri or stony soil in my next videos. So keep on watching my videos in order to get updated. Next is the Bundelkhand Plateau. Bundelkhand Plateau is a mountainous region located in central India. It is there in central India. It comprises of Uttar Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh basically. Bundelkhand, it is situated in the northeastern direction of Malwa Plateau, which is located in the west central India. Places like Khajuraho, which is very important in context with the history and also as a tourism product. Panna, Mahoba, Ajaygarh, Orchha, Datia, etc. These places are found there in Bundelkhand region, and they are also a place of Bundelkhand Plateau. Then there is Vindhyachal Plateau. Vindhyachal Plateau, it lies to the north of the central part of the range. The cities of Bhopal, the capital of Madhya Pradesh, Indore, they all lie on this plateau, which rises higher than the Indo-Gangetic plains to its north. Probably Vindhyachal ranges or Vindhya ranges, they derived their name from this Vindhyachal plateau, because most of the part used to be there in most of the part of the Vindhyachal range, it used to be there. Then it is Chota Nagpur Plateau. Chota Nagpur Plateau, it covers much of Jharkhand state. Major part of the plateau is there in Jharkhand. Then it also covered the adjacent parts of Odisha, West Bengal, Bihar and Chhattisgarh. The largest part of the Chota Nagpur Plateau is called Ranchi Plateau. Chota Nagpur Plateau are basically the patlands. Patlands are the higher elevation plateaus. They are very high in height. And then Damodar River, it originates here at Chota Nagpur Plateau. Damodar River is also known as the Sorrow of Bengal. Sorrow of Bengal, it is known as by this name also. And then Damodar Valley region of India is also known as the Ruhr of country. Ruhr is basically a place in Germany, which is also ideal for high patlands, and that is why Chota Nagpur Plateau is also known as the Ruhr of the country. Next comes the Karbi Meghalaya Plateau. We usually discuss about the major plateaus, but we always forget about the other plateaus also in India. So I have mentioned one of them in my video. This is the Karbi Meghalaya Plateau. Karbi is also a tribe. It is also a tribe in Assam probably. So let us discuss further. Karbi Meghalaya Plateau is an extension of the main Indian peninsular plateau, and they are originally of two different plateaus. They are made up of two different plateaus, Karbi Anglong Plateau and the Meghalaya Plateau. It is believed that due to the force exerted by the northeastwardly movement of the Indian plate at that time of Himalayan origin, a huge fault was created between Rajmahal Hills and the Karbi Meghalaya Plateau. So there was a huge difference between them, and this is how, because of this depression was filled with depositionary activities, so it became Karbi Meghalaya Plateau. Today, the Meghalaya and Karbi Anglong Plateau remains detached from the main peninsular block. This area receives maximum rainfall from the southwest monsoon. Then there is Deccan Plateau. As I already told you that it is a huge triangular mass which is there in southern part of India. So its western part is covered by Western Ghats and its eastern part is covered by Eastern Ghats. The Anaimuri range, or we can say Anaimuri mountain, it is the highest peak in the Western Ghat, which is located in Kerala. The Eastern Deccan Plateau is also called Telangana. Telangana is also the name of the state, which derived its name from their Deccan Plateau only. Eastern Deccan Plateau only, it derives its name. So it is made up of vast sheets of massive granite rocks, which effectively traps rainwater. So to trap rainwater, Deccan Plateau is very essential. Then Tiruvannamalai in Tamil Nadu is often regarded as the southern gateway of Deccan Plateau. So it is a very important thing that we should know that what is the southern gateway of Deccan Plateau. So the answer is Tiruvannamalai. Now starting with the ranges, we are going to discuss about Aravalli ranges. Aravalli ranges, these are the mountain ranges in the northwestern India. They run approximately 692 kilometers in a southward direction. This starts near Delhi. So basically near Delhi, the places around JNU, Jawaharlal Nehru University, Aravalli ranges are found. So they start near Delhi, then they pass through southern and Rajasthan, southern Haryana and Rajasthan, and then they end up in Gujarat. The highest peak of this Aravalli ranges is Guru Shikhar. Guru Shikhar Parbat, it is there in Mount Abu, and it is situated at a height of 1722 meters. Then there are Dhausi Hills also. Dhausi Hills usually used to be a volcanic region, but then with time, gradually and slowly, they have become an extinct volcanoes. Right now, there is no volcano there at that region. And in India, the only active volcano is there at Barren Island, as I already told you. Next is the Satpura Ranges. Satpura Ranges, they divide Indian subcontinent into Indo-Gangetic plain of northern India and the Deccan Plateau of the south. They rises in the eastern Gujarat state near the Arabian Sea coast, and then they run east through the borders of Maharashtra and Madhya Pradesh to the east till Chhattisgarh. The Narmada river originates from here, like from the northeastern end of Satpura, and the Tapti river, it originates from the eastern central part of Satpura. The Mount Dhubgarh or Dhubgarh is the highest point in the Satpura range. Its elevation is 1350 meter in Madhya Pradesh near Panchmani. Vindhya Ranges. Vindhya Ranges, these are bounded by the central highlands on the south and the Aravallis on the northwest. It extends from Jobat, Gujarat and Chittorgarh, Rajasthan to Sasaram in Bihar for about 1050 km with general elevation between 450 to 600 meters. So its highest peak is Sadbhavana Shikhar or Kalumar Peak in Damoh district, which is of height 752 meter. The Vindhya range is also known as the Vindhyachala or Vindhyachal. So the suffix achal means hills in Sanskrit, and Vindhya is from Vindhya range. So here I have mentioned the major passes of peninsular region. Look at the map. So we already know about the Battle of Haldi Ghati. We have heard about it, which was fought between Akbar and Maharana Pratap. So Haldi Ghati is a place there. So Haldi Ghati Pass is also there. So you can see it in the map, Haldi Ghati Pass. Then there are other pass also like Palghat Pass, which is there in Palakkad Gap. It is also called Palakkad Gap. Then Chodla Ghat is there, Kumbarli Ghat is there, Amba Ghat is there. You can see it very well. Have a glance around all the passes. I have taken these pictures from the internet and you can also find them over internet. So here are the hills and mountain ranges of the peninsular region of India. So there is Aravalli range, you can see it very well, and Mount Abu is there with its highest peak called Mount Guru Shikhar. Then there are Kaimur Hills, Milan Hills, Sonpar Hills, Rajmahal Hills. I told you about Rajmahal Hills also, that they distinct from this Karbi Plateau region. Then Ramgarh Hills are there, Odisha Hills are there, Garjat Hills are there, Nayagarh Hills are there. Then Palkonda Hills are there, Nagari Hills are there, Panchai Malai Hills are there. Then I also told you about Anaimudi. So Anaimudi is there towards the west, above the Cardamom Hills. Nilgiri Hills are there. Nilgiri Hills, it is a very important place. Nilgiri Hills, it is a house for Toda tribes, and also the hill station called Ooty is there. Thank you everybody. I hope you liked the video. And further, I will discuss about the major passes of India, which I had already started discussing with you, but I left few of the passes which I am going to discuss later. Thank you, and subscribe to my channel, and also press the bell icon below to get updated.